What's going on, everybody? Thanks for watching. This is Mike Norris, and this is Youtalk. I'm here with Chelsea Williams today, the Chief Financial Architect of Core Solutions Group. How's it going, Chelsea?
It's going good. We're amidst the COVID, but we're making it.
Yeah, I gotta say, your home office looks a little bit better than mine does. I got this blank wall here.
Pinterest.
So one of the reasons that I'm really excited to have Chelsea on today is that not only is she great and excellent with the financial side, but as a business owner, she's kind of been in the shoes of someone who I think this appeals to a lot of people in our audience, where they've had to wear a lot of hats and then eventually delegate a little bit of that work that comes with that over time. But marketing, sales, operations, all of that kind of, I'm sure at one point fell under your umbrella. And I'd like if you could, give us a little bit of background on yourself, and then maybe a little bit of that journey too, how you got to where you're at today.
Sure. So Core Solutions Group was created about 3 years ago, and we do tax accounting and cash management for law firms specifically. Okay. I myself have 10 plus years of accounting experience, but in my years of working in an office, I quickly realized that the services we were giving were very reactive, right? Like we would give financials to people, but we weren't helping them read them. Nobody was looking at them. And I'm like, there's a lot of work to be had here, right? So when I set out to develop Core Solutions Group, it was based on the idea that our services were going to be very proactive. And, I kind of said, like, if we're not helping you make money by giving you financial clarity, then we're not a good fit, or we're not doing something right. That was the goal, right?
I love that.
So I jumped off the cliff, and immediately I was very fortunate that, I had some of my previous clients seek me out because they knew that I had started my own business. So I wasn't under the pressure that a lot of people can be when you first start your business. And so the first thing I had to address, of course, was getting new clients, right? And there was this thing called marketing. And I'm like, oh, I just need to talk to someone, right? Like one person can tell me how to do all of these things. And I ended up talking to a person, and they're like, oh, well, this is SEO, but you also have to do this. And then you have to research hashtags. And then there's this Instagram piece. And then there's Facebook. And I'm like, can you just do it all? And it occurred to me that these are all very separately moving pieces. There's an overall theme and consistency that needs to happen, but I am not going to find what I need in one person. That was my experience. So I was completely overwhelmed and came to the conclusion that I had to just do it one step at a time and take it as I went and learn as I go. And so what I actually did, so you see people giving out these, 30-minute crash course on how to manage your Instagram. And at the end, they're like, for $400, we can hold your hand and do it with you and for you, right? And so I watched all these free presentations and kind of read between the lines and started everything up on my own. So, I got a hold of Instagram. My Instagram is beautiful. You should go check out my Instagram. I love it. I'm so proud of it. I started around in Facebook, LinkedIn, because we deal with lawyers, right? Lawyers are on LinkedIn. That's a professional platform. Lawyers as an industry, they're a service industry. And because of the nature of their work and the psychology, they're a very hard market to penetrate because people have to know, like, and trust you before they will reach out and ask you for help, right? And it took about a year and a half of consistent posting, blogging, podcasts, Facebook to get a funnel that was producing. I think that's one of the things that as a business owner doing it yourself, it can be so frustrating because we think, without having any marketing experience, my website is up in public, I'm going to get business. Ooh, that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's all I have
Very
to
common.
do.
Yeah.
But there's this, what I started to realize when it all came together is that, this all works together. You're leading people from different places to one common place, but the message has to be consistent. And for me, it came kind of naturally because, people always say, what's your passion? What's your why? What drives you? And you hear so much, I feel like it's a buzzword almost, of authentic marketing. But aside from the overused word, I mean, it really is true. When you have a story as that's your why, and you share it and you make yourself a little bit vulnerable, and that's the message that you put out, you know, it really does work. And I've had people that I've talked to, reached out to, marketing experts, to get feedback and to learn more for myself. And what I came to realize is they're trying to get me to reverse engineer my authenticity. Everything
Okay.
they were coaching me on doing was trying to work backwards to start from a place that was already there.
Oh, I like that.
So, you know, once that made sense, so what I did personally with all of my marketing outlets, and I'm on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and then I have a blog on my website. And what I did is I have a task management software. And I knew that I wanted, so accounting and tax, they're boring, right? Nobody wants to hear about this stuff. We're freaks of nature. We don't make sense on paper, right? It's
You said
boring.
it,
And
not
so
me.
I knew that I had to incorporate a humor side to what I do, right? A
Sure,
fun
yeah.
side.
I love that.
So you have to. And so that reflects into my marketing. And my fear with delegating, I don't know if you've ever heard of the book E-Myth.
No, actually, I'm not familiar.
So the E-Myth talks about the 3 phases of entrepreneurship. The mechanic. So most people go into business because they think they can do it better, or they don't want a boss.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the reality of it. But they fall into this role of the mechanic, which is the doing part. You actually do the work. The second phase that you try to achieve is the manager. The manager knows how to delegate and create systems. And then finally that entrepreneur stage. But before you can get there, you have to be able to delegate. And there's a right and a wrong way to do it. A lot of business owners have a fear of delegating. They don't want to give up control. Mm-hmm. But in order to scale and scale profitably, you have to. So what I did for my marketing was created an outline in my task management software that had recurring tasks. And I've given my contractors examples of the types of content. So they have like 7 different themes they can choose from. And, you know, I create a media package. So I'll record a video, write a blog every other week, and I give them that package. And from that, they create the materials and post the video and the blog and everything. So I give them this package, and it's good for like 2 weeks of posting, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my journey, you know, going from being terrified of marketing and completely overwhelmed, like, I can't do this, to just taking baby steps to building this cohesive multi-part system and making it manageable and systematized.
Yeah. Well, number one, kudos to you for just diving in, taking those courses and figuring it out on your own. I think a lot of people, they fall into either that trap of, you know, okay, well, I'll just pay this person to do it. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if I'm getting anything out of this. And it's not you. It's not genuine then, you know? And I think that's an absolutely beautiful point that you touch on, because everything that, I mean, you know, to speak anecdotally, when I do various marketing things, I want them to be genuine as well. And that goes for both myself with what you're seeing here with this video, and also just for our clients. You know, I want to know about their story. I want to know what sets them apart, because the offers can only get you so far. You know, a free consultation, $20 off this, you know, that's great, but why would someone choose you over someone else? Is it just price? Is it just the offer? Usually that's not a very good selling point.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's scary for business owners too, because I've heard on multiple occasions, some in business seminars, that who in here hates sales? And of course, everybody's like, I don't want to be a salesman. And they're like, I got news for you. You all own a business. You are in the business of sales. And I'll even be on I'll be on a prospect call sometimes, and we'll end the call and they'll be like, I really like your sales pitch. And I'm like, do I sound salesy? Like, this is just me being me, and, you know, giving them a rundown of what we do. I'm like, okay. So it's nerve-wracking, but it's part of the job. It's what we signed up for.
Yeah, and I think you get more comfortable at it the more you do it too.
For sure.
Yeah. So on the flip side then, I mean, that's your story. As for what you do for your clients, I know that it's very ROI driven in terms of, I obviously it's finance and accounting, but accounting for those dollars and the spend and making sure that it's being used appropriately, I think is a big part of your strategy.
Yes. So again, we're all about proactivity. We want to strategically analyze what's going on with the numbers and develop KPIs.
Sure.
One of those KPIs has to be the ROI on marketing. You know, it's 2020. If you're not marketing, you're not going to make it. And that's just the truth of the matter. But, you know, a lot of people go into marketing and they throw money hoping it works. Either it's ineffective or they don't give it enough time to work. Like I said, it took me a good year and a half for my funnels to start producing consistently. And I use the analogy of the slot machine method and the vending machine method. So when people first start chucking money at marketing, they use the slot machine method where we're just putting money in and holding our hands out like, oh, I hope something comes out. Right.
I love that.
But what we want to find, and again, I'm no marketing expert. This is just basic stuff, right? We should just know this. What we want to get to is this place of the vending machine marketing model where we have a proven method. We can put $1 in and we get a candy bar out, and we know that's going to happen. And the way that that helps us is we can help forecast growth and margins, because we can say, if you've found this vending machine and we dump X amount of dollars into marketing, you'll have this much more revenue. You'll need this many more staff members, which will cost you this in payroll, and on down the line. So an example, for our clients' financials, we're very adamant about having specific financials. I don't want to know how much money you're making as much as I want to know where your money's coming from. In the legal industry, that means which practice areas do you have? Within the practice area, what are the different matter types that you could possibly bill for, so that you know exactly where your money's coming from. When we go down to the expenses, one of the expense sections that we detail out is marketing, because we want them to see that. And this is external reporting, right? This is what they see from the outside looking in. We subcategorize. So we have marketing and advertising, and then we have Facebook, Google Ads, Avo, whatever the case may be. We list out their big hitters individually so that it is front of mind for them every month. Now, on the flip side of that, that information is no good if you don't have an internal report that's tracking the metrics, right, via lead gen. Are you tracking whenever anybody calls or emails or hits a button on your website to inquire about services? How did they hear about you? That's one of the 3 initial questions that I ask on my website before they get the actual intake form. That is one of the most important pieces of information to me in my business. So it's a two-sided thing, you know, because you can't track what you can't see. And if you put the 2 pieces together, now we start to get closer to that vending machine.
Sure. Yeah, I love that. I also love too, and I meant to touch on this last time, but the way that you allowed the marketing that chance to breathe for a year and a half before it actually started working, I can't stress enough how important that is, especially with content strategies and social media and things like that. I mean, it's one thing to turn on a Google ad and expect results pretty quickly. I mean, that, you know, within a couple of weeks, month time span, you can probably expect some results there. But if you're creating content and blogging or SEO, that kind of stuff just takes time. And, you know, to expect to be profitable in 1 month's time isn't always the case, right? But then it does ultimately come back to tracking as well, because if you don't know where your leads are coming from, and generally speaking, I mean, all of our clients, we use Google Analytics a lot for that kind of stuff. If they're a Shopify client, you know, they've got all their e-com data and everything in there. And these machine learning algorithms and things get really, really good too at optimizing towards ROI. So, you know, I think that's also very important, but I think sometimes that gets overlooked by people, where they just assume, or maybe they look at it as a broad spectrum, like, I got 20 leads, but I don't really know where they came from. I just know I'm doing all these things and I got 20 leads. You're like, all right, but, you know, don't you want to piece that together a little bit more? Don't you want to figure this out a little bit?
Fine tune it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, even I love, so I have Squarespace, and they have I have the Google Analytics, but Squarespace I can appreciate, and Google may have this too. I just kind of stick with what works for me.
Sure.
You know, even down to my content. So if I can see that people are reading one blog over the other, I'm going to release blogs that are more relevant to the more popular one, right?
Of course. Yep.
Even though they're not converting, they're catching eyes and people are interested in this information. So, and you're absolutely right. It is frustrating to sit and pay for marketing when nothing comes to it. But, even from when I started my business, people would, ask me if I was nervous or, hasn't it been X amount of months? And I'm like, it is just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time. When you're on a mission fueled by passion, it's gonna happen. You just have to be patient and let it do its thing. On top of that, lawyers are mistrusting by nature. They deal with people lying to them and manipulating them in the system and other people every day. So, it probably won't take other industries a year and a half, but you just gotta know that it's gonna happen and give it time so you can see where it's happening and where you should focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you seem like someone who's a perfect entrepreneur in that you have that mentality of just attacking the problem and it's going to work regardless. You're not sitting there on your back foot getting ready to get, shoved over by the overwhelming complexity of things you don't understand. You're just diving right in and trying to get the answers that you need.
Yeah. And that really goes back to your why, right? I mean,
Sure.
There's a movie, I have a toddler and kids, so I like reference Disney movies, but robots.
I love Disney, that's fine.
Yes. The movie Robots, the big, the guy that owned the big robot company, his motto was see a need, fill a need. There's a need for what we do as business owners, and it's important, right? Like my heart mission is bridging the gap in financial literacy in this country and in the world.
Okay.
Financial literacy is not something that's taught to us in school. It's not being taught to young adults in high school. Lawyers aren't learning it in law school. If you went to college, you probably didn't learn it either. And so I have this overwhelming passion that fuels my business, and I do it personally on a local level. And when, it's see a need, fill a need, and you gotta believe in what you're selling, right?
Sure. Of course. Yeah, that's where the genuine part comes from, the passion and everything.
Yes. Then you don't have to feel like a salesperson, just you're an educator.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I like that a lot. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea. I really appreciate your time today. This was excellent for a variety of reasons. I mean, your experience is wonderful. It just in being able to see both sides of the coin and everything like that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah. Is there anywhere that people can reach you or check out your Instagram maybe?
Yes. So the easiest place to go without me rattling off 5 different handles is just yourcoresolution.com. Okay. And all of our social media buttons are right there on the top right.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you again, like I said, and maybe we can have you back sometime.
I would love that.
All right, awesome.
Thank
you so much. Bye, everybody.